What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today we got another service call for you, so stick with me and I'll see you at the customer's house. Alright guys, I'm here at the customer's house. We're ended up finding out this is a sorority house. There's not even a homeowner that's here. Basically I had to go up in the upstairs. It's the upstairs unit that's out of air conditioning. I had to find the thermostat. They didn't even know they had a thermostat upstairs. So I had to find the thermostat, find out what's going on with it. All they could tell me was the air conditioner would not run. So I basically turned the thermostat on. The thermostat is beat to crap. It's an old mercury bulb thermostat. The face wasn't even on or anything like that, so you can tell there's been a whole lot of partying up in this place. But anyway, I turned it on. The fan's coming on upstairs. It's blowing air. So let's go around to the condensing unit and let's see what's going on with this thing. So I'll see you at the condensing unit. Alright, I got around here to the condensing unit. We can see everything's working. Look at this line set, man. All the way up. It's got ice all around the lines. Not only is this a terrible installation, pretty much know more than likely what's wrong with it. I mean, the cover for this thing is off. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start checking the freon charge and see what this thing's doing. Alright, I got my gauges and everything hooked up. And what we're reading right now is about a 45-degree suction and a 20-degree and a 200-pound head pressure. This system is definitely low in freon with the icing and everything. And this is a perfect way to see. Our temperature is below 32 degrees. You look at our lines, definitely has iced everything up. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting some freon in this thing and get it back up and going. Alright, we'll go ahead and start putting some freon in. We're going to try to put some freon in with the ice on the lines and kind of see how that affects our pressures. Because if we know there's ice on the lines, we know there's ice at our evaporator coil as well. You can see our head pressure starts to go up. We're still under freezing on our suction. We're still reading below freezing. And you can see our head pressure has gone up. We're at about 225 now. And what I want you to see and take notice of this is adding freon to a unit with the lines iced up. Your head pressure will move a lot more than your suction will. Your suction won't move much because you have a frosted up evaporator coil. And you never want to charge a unit iced up, because your suction will never be accurate. So I'm just doing this just to show you what will happen. See how our head pressure keeps going up? But our suction is still below 32 degrees. So if I kept adding freon to this unit, our head pressure will continue to go up, but our suction will never get below 32 degrees because our evaporator coil is iced up. So that's why it's so important to anytime you're charging a unit, before you actually start putting freon in, you want to make sure your evaporator coil is completely de-iced. You want to make sure your line set is completely de-iced to get an accurate reading on what your suction pressure is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and defrost everything, get the evaporator coil completely defrosted, and go ahead and make sure that this thing is charged up correctly. Alright guys, I went ahead and de-iced the coil. As you can see, I've got all the ice off the line set and everything. Let me show you what it's done with our suction. Before we de-iced the coil, I had put a little bit of freon in here, and we were still reading about 50 psi on our suction. Just by de-icing our coil, it's bumped it up from 50 psi on up to a little bit over 65 psi. So that's why it's so important to never charge a unit up with an iced up evaporator coil, because if we had started continuing adding freon to this system with our unit iced up, we would have grossly overcharged that piece of equipment. and basically wouldn't have charged it up right. Just by de-icing our coil up, we raised our suction pressure by about 15 psi. So anytime you do any charging or anything like that, you want to make sure that your line set is completely defrost, your evaporator coil is completely defrosted, to make sure you don't overcharge that. This system was probably only about a pound low in freon. The homeowner's not here to what we want them to do with this, but this system does have a freon leak somewhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to let the customer know, because her biggest thing is, this being a sorority house, she wants us to get the AC back up and going. So just by adding that little bit of freon I added to it, we were able to actually get the system up to now have a 20-degree temperature drop upstairs. But the thing is, this system does have a leak. And, with this thing being as old as it is, we're going to have to recommend either a leak search, give them the option of either replacing this air conditioner, but the system does have a leak somewhere in the system. So anytime you put in freon, you always want to recommend a leak search, because an air conditioner, if it's low in freon, it's got to be leaking out somewhere. When I did go and check the evaporator coil and did de-ice it, the evaporator coil is not dirty. The filters are not dirty. Actually, there's no filters in this thing to begin with. So, they weren't dirty. But basically, we need to let the customer know whether they want to do a leak search or whether they just want to go ahead and replace it. I'm more than likely sure they're probably not going to want to do anything to this, being that it's a sorority house, and what I'm getting from the homeowners, they just want to get out as cheap as possible. So we're going, at least for us, we're going to recommend a leak search, and at the very least give them an option of doing some type of leak seal or something like that. So basically, I'll see you guys back in the truck. Alright guys, I'm back here on the truck. This service call was not our typical service call we go to. I think, like I told you before, this is some sorority house right in the middle of college town, and this homeowner really doesn't care what they just, as long as the air conditioning is cooling, is basically the only thing that they want. We did find the AC was low in freon. I did let them know, did tell them the system probably has a leak in it, that we recommend the leak search. This customer didn't want anything done. They wanted a pound of freon added to the unit, and that's what we did for them. But you're going to run into people like this doing heating and air, and the only thing I can tell you is basically always protect yourself. Always have it noted in your description of work that you did recommend a leak search, that you told the customer that there's a leak in the system. And as long as you document that, you have it down, then if the homeowner does call back in and say, hey, this system leaks down in a month or 2 or 3 or 6 or whatever it is, that you're protected and that you gave that option. This is just, this is one of those service calls you go to when they don't want it repaired. They just want a quick fix. So just always protect yourself, and if you do that, you'll be good. So, but anyway, guys, another service call up, another service call down. I appreciate you guys watching. Hope you learned something. If you did, please like and subscribe. It means a lot to me if you do that. It makes me feel good that you guys are watching. And as always, I'll see you on the next service call. Bye.